Okay, Reggie, before we get into this week's set of questions, is there anything that you wanted to speak on before we get started, or you want to get right into it?
Just shout out Dwayne Wade, my favorite non-Laker, one of my favorite non-Laker basketball players. For getting into the Hall of Fame. If y'all get a chance to it and y'all want to try to strive to have a relationship with your son, or if you have a father that you have a relationship like I do, that's a great speech towards the end on Dwayne Wade Hall of Fame basketball speech. Other than that, let's get into it, baby boy.
Okay. Um, I wanted to ask you about a video that Norm did from Gangster Chronicles where he basically made like an attack video towards you, which I found out because you hadn't spoken negatively on him. So I wanted to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, Norm. Who Norm? I told you his name is Shrek now. That's Shrek to me now. So whenever I'm talking about Norm from the Gangster Chronicles, I used to give him the respect and call him Big Steel or Big Norm. He's Shrek now. Y'all look at that. Don't that nigga look like Shrek? But you know, uh, he put up some paperwork, and it's fair game. I tap and talk about people, so I got to learn to accept it and take it like a man as well when somebody tap at me. I like that because it shows you that all the dirt on Reds that niggas can find is shit from, well, I think even in the paperwork, it said I was 45 years of age. Y'all know I'm 57 now. So what's that, 12 years ago? 13 years ago shit? Yeah, I had some issues with my wife back then where I was trying to do some maneuvering to get away. But we worked it out. I done been to the pen. I done caught COVID, and she take care of me better than anybody. She take care of me better than my mama do. So, yeah, I wonder if any of y'all wives would be like that, 13 years later or 12 years later. But if niggas could sit up here and say you ain't never had a problem with your woman or your girl, then okay, hats off to you. So yeah, that paperwork is actual. Everybody done threw it at me. He got it from the homosexual from the UK. That's who sent it to him. He done put it up. That's every time he gets a chance to tap at me. I even saw the groupie put it up. So it ain't like it's no new or breaking fucking news. But that's great. I'll tell y'all my bads. I was an ex-cop in y'all mind. That's bad. I love it. I still get good health benefits and 50% of my salary for the rest of my life from the city of Compton Police Department. What else I do wrong in life? I shit. I got caught up with some drugs, sending weed across state line. Y'all know about that. Okay, I paid and got tapped on my hand and learned my way about that. Uh, what? I'm fat. Yeah, okay. What else can y'all say about me? He tried to throw up some shit about like I asked him for some money. Yeah, motherfucker, you see the date I asked for the money on the 21st, 22nd. That's when motherfuckers on YouTube get paid. So, nigga, I did an interview with you after I let you and James no Vaseline me all of that 25 G's. You called me and asked me to come on your show. I told you, yeah, nigga, it's gonna cost a fee. And you told me, Reg, I got you on the 21st, 22nd. And of course, you played that bullshit role and was like, I'm out of town. I'm all like, motherfucker, what, Zales don't work all the time? But hey, I took it. I stayed on your ass. You eventually paid what you promised me you was going to pay. That's all. Nothing else. You always try to act like you paid me, gave me money and shit. You ain't gave me shit. You cheated me. You owed me. You one of the few niggas in life that owe me. And you know what? Me and Alice Alonso, we got something stored for you. Because we're going to just sue you and your boyfriend. Because that's all I said. I tapped that little drunk. The one you told me was a drunk. You remember when you told me that Brian B have a drinking problem and he was in jail for drunk driving and all of that, and he's a major alcoholic? You don't remember telling me that though? I'm lying. If I'm lying and you didn't tell and you told me that, strike one of my kids right now. But so because I say he a Chris Stokes victim, he is a Chris Stokes victim. Man, I know victims when I see them. He and I rode past Chris studio on the freeway. He said, "Oh man, that's where Chris used to uh, film. I used to do film work and stuff for him at," and literally started crying like a little bitch. I go, "What? Huh? What's wrong, dog?" Oh, nothing. Come on, dog. If I'm lying, Brian, you know I ain't lying. So I tell him that he's a victim. But anyway, MC8, you say I talked to him. I just said he was being a Crip sympathizer. No disrespect to Crips, yeah. Everybody sympathizes. I'm a cop sympathizer. James and people be Pyrus and Blood sympathizer. All I'm saying, you ain't got to be a sympathizer because you did do what you did. That's all, but I still said I ain't got no problems with what you did. That's your decision. You the one got to live with that. But you are what you are. But if you can justify it and live with it, I'm fine. I live with it. Live with what you are. That's all I'm trying to say. But you know what? Y'all think that that's why the man wanted to tap and go after me and all of that? That ain't why. He tried to say, because I called him a cornball from Ohio. Well, you are a cornball from Ohio. I'm not saying Ohio's or dudes from Ohio's a cornball. I just said you are a cornball from Ohio, Shrek. You are. You say I'm not no cornball. How long am I corn? Nigga, I hate speaking on this nigga name, but James begged me and promised me never to speak on this. Well, no, he didn't. He said, let me speak on it. But I'm going to speak on it now. You remember how BJ had you running around the car chasing you in a lot? You said I'm lying? I bet you Bunny Hunter BJ come and tell that story. You know he love content. He going to take and talk about it when he was chasing you around the car and you running. You such a gangster from what you say. Some street in Ohio, and you gangster and bought it. Nigga, I ain't never seen no gangster running from an unarmed man. Yeah, you're a cornball. But anyway, that ain't why you mad, dog. The reason why you mad, and we see it, it's obvious. You killed your channel. You want to believe and had your wife and everybody thinking you're successful because you did this and all of that. Reggie Wright built that motherfucking channel, Gangster Chronicles, nigga. Anybody that say Reggie, James, and Alex Alonso didn't make the home runs over there, then I don't know what to say. If y'all say y'all still go over there and subscribe and watch their vid and give views. Because look at your views, dawg. Look at your views on YouTube. I don't know what you're doing on podcasts. You'll try to say, oh, we doing numbers on podcasts. I bet you, after this year, you'll be dropped if you still have a deal. Because your YouTube numbers is going to be better than your podcast numbers. You can't even get without talking about Reggie Wright or posting something from James or Alex Alonso. You can't even get. You got maybe one or two videos that went over 10,000. The rest of them was under 1,000. And that was because of Crip Map first video and jail felony in the last 2 weeks to a month. You killed the channel off. I left you a channel that was doing 300,000 an episode. You now doing 500, 300, 1,000. John, post it and show them. I ain't lying. These is your views from the last the last month. We'll just go back a month. So that's why you really mad. Because Charlamagne done told you, hey, I ain't fucking with you next year. You fucked up the channel. You dropped the ball. You did a Suge Knight, you know what Dr. Dre did, and left Suge. You fumbled the bag just like Suge. Nowhere near the money, but in essence, that's what you did. You had some niggas blow up your shit, and then you go and fumble the bag. That's why the brother's real mad. That's why he want to tap at Reg to try to hope maybe he can get some views. You'll get a few views going back and forth. But John already done made me Promising. Reggie, if a motherfucker don't get 10,000 views or more talking about you, we can't tap at them. It ain't worth it. You just building them up like you still build up the groupie channel. Like you build up other people's channels. You know, Carpet Head and all of them. He said, don't tap at them. They get 500 views. What you care? He said, you get 500 views when you drop a video in the first 5 to 10 minutes. You average 30,000 a day. Nobody on YouTube do videos daily that often with one person. So he said, stop biting into their stuff. That's what John keeps telling me. But I know you get no freebies with me. You want to keep going back and forth? We'll go back and forth. Because you know all the conversation we had when we were cool. When this statement is just for your brother-in-law. You know it's true. Brother-in-law of Norman Steele. You know it's true. Wife of Norman Steele. You know it's true. When your mama, Miss Steele, caught COVID, that nigga wanted her out of the house, was mad at everybody because he said your sorry ass sister and brothers wouldn't take care of the kids and take care of their mama, and he felt bad and wanted to leave you because he had to take care of you and your mama. You know the issue with that. Your son, Chris, I hope like hell. He's only third on the depth chart, so he will be cut pretty soon. But I hope like hell he makes the Seattle Seahawks because you've been banking on that for 2 years now. When you thought he was going to be in Pittsburgh, got cut. When you thought he went to, tell me how you was mad when he went to, I think, the Panthers or somewhere and spent all his money, or Indianapolis, one of those teams, spent all his money when you said he married some little white chick and she running all the money and taking care of the money and he couldn't even help you out. Man, you don't talk to me about too much stuff to be trying to bring up some 12, 13-year-old stuff on Reg. But hey, Reg open book. Yeah, that happened. 13 years ago, 12 years ago. Ha ha. You gonna open up a domestic violence? No, you better open up a shelter for your ass to live in after your wife know this truth sits in about what you had to say about her and her mama and how you living in her house, but you want her to go because her siblings won't help out when your mom was sick. Reg, don't forget nothing, Norm. You know I got the text. You know I can back up what I'm saying. Your wife, your son know all this truth. They know how you been living off them, hoping he make it through this football career, which I hope he do. He seemed like a good dude. I told you when he left out, he was leaving too soon. You don't remember that conversation? Yeah, you remember it. But I ain't gonna bring in kids, but I'm wishing for it. Really am. But I think that might have been. You better fire that guy, Brian, and teach him how to work cameras so y'all can try to do something. I don't know what you're going to do to get the channel popping because niggas hate the way you talk and your commentary. I don't know. Got a feeling you done messed that bag up. I don't know what you're going to do. You want to act like you got the relationship with Charlemagne, and now we all know Glasses Malone is the one that had that relationship. You ain't really did nothing in the business but live off of what other people did. Try to take over it and fumble the bag. No, stay off Edge. Yeah, I can't read. You want to pull the 50 Cent Mayweather? All right, that was a good one. I kind of like that. You look at it as fun, and it's just fun and capping back. Reg don't play with niggas like that. Don't play. You know it. You want to take it to another level? Okay. You know where I live. I know where you live. I know where your studio at. Don't threaten me, nigga. And don't play with me. Bomb first. Peace.
Can you talk to me a little bit about how, and this has been repeated through a couple of different people, both in the Dear Mama documentary and then on some interviews online, but did Suge talk Tupac into going to Vegas that night did he not want, like, apparently he wanted to go to Atlanta or something? Can you speak to
Well,
that?
everybody know the rumor that I believe it's Kenny Lassane, my boy Bill. Man, I tell you, I'm Bill Lassane is a good dude. Will Lassane, really like that brother. But his brother Kenny, oh man, he allegedly stole the gun, one of Tupac guns that he had at a house and went and pawned it at a at a pawn shop or maybe the local uh, the local man. And so Tupac heard about it and was mad. Anybody ever been on parole and out on an appeal bond? And everybody always say, yo, Tupac, they want to say Tupac was made to go to Vegas by Suge and all of that. No. Suge liked going to Vegas and he loved having that party atmosphere and having everybody out there. He knew that it was a big marketing event because Pac was, was supposed to, I believe, no, that wasn't the time I don't think he was supposed to walk out with him rapping a song. Some talks about that. I don't know if it was that fight or a fight prior to that. But definitely the song All Out, he was definitely playing, and that was the music for the fight. And so Suge was like, hey man, you can go deal with that after that. You can go deal with that, and then but you need to go to Vegas. But this is what everybody forget. Number one, when Tupac used to travel, David Kenner used to have to put paperwork. He couldn't just do anything spontaneous. Anybody ever been on any type of paperwork and all of that? Y'all know, y'all tell these people, you can't just move and go state to state. Your attorney's got to get permission from your probation officer or parole officer or whoever, whatever guidelines you're under to move. But so he had that issue. David Kenner was a genius at making that happen. But more importantly, everybody forget, and y'all, because y'all don't know. And I hate that y'all always try to make Suge Knight as the guy that forced him to do this because he wanted to set up because they had called an audit and all of that. Man, all right. Okay. But it wasn't an audit. How can you call an audit and your royalties only 2? I swear, it's so funny to me. His album came out February 13th, 108 days from there. That's August the 13th. Come on, y'all. If he would have called an audit at that time, he would have been unrecouped. Because you always say, oh, he sold 10 million records. Okay, that's over the lifetime of the album. That wasn't in the first 6 months of the sales of the album, young people. That wasn't SoundScan. It might have been shipped 2 million or something like that, but that is not what SoundScan was reporting at the time. But we knew we had a great album and a hit on hand. But I'm just trying to tell y'all, man, Tupac was on probation in LA County, right? That's why I always talk shit about the Hughes brothers and them being involved in the project and all of that, because they were trying to get him violated for that incident of, I forget why. There was something reason that they were trying to violate his probation, where they were trying to make him go and work on the freeway and pick up trash and stuff. Well, of course, that magician, David Kenner, made that happen, where it went away. Where somehow he got it, where we had to go and do the 3-strike law thing and got credit for that with the Brotherhood Crusade, the giving away stuff at different events. But more importantly, y'all don't know, it was for the police association. Y'all always talk about Tupac AUL, maybe, okay. He didn't care. He was trying to get his community service worked off we had it set up where we were giving the Las Vegas Police Department Boxer Association, some retired boxer out there, a donation, and it made it like a benefit where Pac was performing at that club that night. And so he can get time off and get credit for being on, for his community service. That's what was happening. Those were all the things. If Suge was insisting that he stay and not go to Vegas, that would have been the reason that Suge, as his mentor or manager slash record company owner and friend, will say, hey man, we deal with that. That's a fucking gun. We can deal with that later. That's your cousin. He gonna always be there. If that's true. I mean, I'm sure if y'all know anything about Tupac, if y'all haven't learned anything, he was very hot-headed and quick tempered and want to deal with stuff. But something like that couldn't wait one more day. I'm sure him thinking about it and later decided that, hey, okay, I'll deal with that another way. But probably had forgot about it. Probably was just like, all right, you cut off, Kenny. But that's what happened. That's the truth. And so would y'all stop that narrative about, because the people that started that and pushed that wants to believe that Suge Knight has something to do with it, with the murder of Tupac. I'm sure just like it hurts me, it gotta hurt Suge Knight triple time what it hurts him when people making no accusations. Suge Knight loved Tupac Shakur. Tupac Shakur loved Suge Knight. Who knows what they would be in 2023 if they both were around each other. But September the 7th, September the 6th, all the way to September the 13th, if he could think about Suge or anything, it wasn't nothing but good thoughts. Well, let's see, maybe before September the 6th. When he was fighting for his life, he was probably mad at everybody, wondering why he was in that position. But prior to that, he was loving everything about Suge Knight. So, yeah, we're going to stop debating and talking about that. If y'all don't believe the whole Keefe D scenario, there's really nothing else we can talk about. Anything else, Keefe D didn't work for no government, didn't work for no Reggie, didn't work for nobody. That was some retaliation for assault to their nephew and possibly, maybe a 2-for-1 for him saying, hey, I can get some money that was offered to me for shooting Suge and Tupac. That's why Keefe D and them got in that car and did what they did. But mainly, is for some gangbanging activities. Is why Tupac Shakur is no longer with us, and because that's God's will. That was God's decision to make all our dates. Y'all always talk about karma and this and that. Is this why this happened or this why this happened? So all the good people that died, they had some karma too. All the bad people that's still alive, they don't have no karma. Come on, y'all. Stop that karma shit. Either God knows when we're going to die. God give us free will. How we're going to die, I believe. And what happens, happens. But we all got a date. You don't believe in that? You don't believe in God? All right, I respect that. That's your opinion. But that's what we believe. Born first.
Okay. Speaking of Vegas, Chris Carroll, the first responder when the shooting happened with Tupac and Suge, he made a statement saying that there was a lot of violence and homicides at Club 662. Can I get your opinion and your thoughts on that if it's different than his?
In the parking lot, huh? Well, I don't know what he's talking about. Maybe he's talking about the history of the club prior to Suge Knight and it becoming Club 662. That's the only thing that would make sense because most of y'all don't know. Club 662 was only open 6 or 8 times, and then one day for a video shoot for a St. Ives commercial that never came out. Gotta find that. Y'all might like that. To my knowledge, it might be because I know you internet motherfuckers be finding everything. But there was 3 Tyson fights. We opened on Friday nights. Nobody was there. When y'all see Tupac in there dancing alone and on in the club and this partying and stuff like that. That was on Friday night. We had just drove in, went to the club. It probably was 200 people in there on Friday night. But on Saturday night, after the fight, shit, there was lines around the corner trying to get in Club 662. But like I said, 3 times. I believe it was only 3 times that the club was open. So 3 times on a Saturday night, 3 times on a Friday night. It's all Club 662. I didn't hear of any shootings or anything that happened at Club 662. The worst thing that happened that I remember was some fat chick was in there and she said that the heat was so hot, well, she passed out and she sued us, and I think I ended up cutting her a check for $6,000 or $12,000 because she said she passed out and it was so hot in the club. She had no business being in there as big as she was, in my opinion. But, and the second thing was the boy from RZA, the guy from Wu-Tang, getting his chain snatched in a fight or a scrumple, which I always tell y'all, niggas getting their ass whooped, somebody gonna snatch a chain. But y'all, yeah, it's too deep for y'all. But that's what happened to RZA. You know, everybody want to make it like Tupac. You know, Tupac went to Suge, said, "Hey, Suge, man, you know, somebody took RZA chain when it was going on." Suge made a few calls, or Buntry or one of the homies made a few calls, and they got the chain back the next day. All that talking about coming and taking a fight and all of that, I ain't hear nothing like that. You know, RZA wasn't even that type of dude, so he wouldn't have been wanting that. He just wanted his chain back and get on. That's where the comparison come in to why, you know, of course, Tupac always said, "Hey, this is how you handle stuff," and this was what he was trying to show Biggie. If you got all this juice or alleged juice in your area, then you make things happen, or you make phone calls and make things happen. So yeah, that's all that happened on incidents at the club. So if he's talking about prior, because I think it was some gangster or some Italian mobster supposedly owned that club, that's all he could be talking about. But I just want to clarify that it wasn't no no bunch of shootings or homicides before that rumors get started at Club 662 in the parking lot. Not one. So, yeah, that's my opinion on that and about that.
When the stuff happened with Suge and Tupac that night, what was the big thing that was going to happen? Because I know you were focused a lot on the club that night. What was the big deal with that night as far as it pertains to the club?
Yeah, so what was happening that night, what was the big thing was we were using someone else's permit to open the club. I forget the lady's name, but it was a lady, some mobster people from New York that actually, Helen something, I forget her name. But anyway, we were using her permit and her license to operate the club. But she, had this guy, this attorney that was working on getting it put in Suge's name. And so everything was looking good. Where they was like, if y'all have no problems tonight and everything goes smooth, they're going to come in and do the inspections and they're going to be there watching and checking y'all out. We're going to have y'all liquor license and, y'all license premier where it's going to be in Suge's name or his female associate's name. I'm pretty sure it was Suge's name. But it's going to be, under a Suge entity. And so that's why it was like a big thing because I'll be honest, every night, the 3 nights prior, it was chaotic there. It was hell, to be honest, from a security standpoint, trying to get crowd control and get everybody accommodated. And so, after 1 or 2 times, you learn from your mistakes. And so I've never had a bodyguard assignment. Everybody always say, you a security, but no, I was always with you, making shit happen. I was really Suge's right hand in the streets, you know. And so I will be the go-to person. Where's Suge at? Where can we go? When the car leaving? Where we at? You know, I was the go-to guy for everything. And so I was making sure everything was on point at the club for when they got there. So that's why I elected not to go. And everybody always asks, well, if you had a ticket, what you did with the ticket? Man, goddamn. Yeah, I could have got him after Tupac, Suge, and whatever females with him. I would be the next one going in there over Buntry and any of them, right? But one thing about Death Row, and anybody ever been with us, shit was unorganized, man. It ain't like this your ticket, this your ticket. Everybody had their own tickets and meet us at the fight. Man, it was like some sucker shit, really. Whoever the first one's there, or whoever walking in with us get to go in. Got to be there. So I ain't have to see no fight. You know, I'm out there working. I ain't out there playing or got to be seen and all of that. And so my job is to make sure shit running right or running smoothly. People always talk about, and so my point is, that's what I was doing. I went to MGM, saw that shit was hectic and all that. Frank and Tupac, I'm gonna be honest, Tupac called, cussing, going on. And that was the last thing Tupac ever said to me in life. He was in his room. Where's Suge at, Red? Where's Suge at? He always late. We always got to show up everywhere late. You know, I'm tired of this shit. Matter of fact, Red, tell Suge I'll meet him over there. I'm catching a cab over there to the hotel. All right, Pop. You know, it's a grown-ass man. Okay. Him and Frank, I didn't know Kevin was with him, Kevin Hackey, but him and Frank took off and they rode over there in a taxi cab from the Luxor Hotel, which is not that far, to the MGM Hotel by themselves. Of course, now Suge is at his house. Tupac and them was at the room at the Luxor. They get there, they meet up in the fight. Fight's over in what? Less than a minute, 2 minutes, right? And then that's when y'all see them coming out, Pac all hyped up and feeling good. And, you know, y'all see the footage where he came out and feeling good and walking and all hyped up. And then they go and do whatever. Now, everybody always in the comment section, why would Orlando be at the hotel, at the MGM and in Vegas, and he don't have a ticket to the fight? I understand why y'all say that. Because you motherfuckers ain't never been to no Vegas on no fight night. Anybody that been to Vegas on a fight night, that remember, y'all tell these motherfuckers, it was like All-Star Weekend. Bitches, every nigga that thought from every city, from Detroit to Cleveland to Chicago, Atlanta, every gangster or nigga that thought they had some money, D-boy or whatever, was there in Vegas. Some had tickets, some didn't. In the MGM was packed. And what they used to have was a line like this that led right into the place where bitches on this side, and a few dudes in the, you know, among the crowd looking. Chicks trying to get pulled because they seeing all these rich niggas walking through. Chicks just standing on the side, thirsty, looking. Dudes walking and all that. Some got pulled on the way out. Some may have got pulled on the way in. But I can't even tell y'all how fight night was. Mike Tyson fights were in the 90s. Just people were there in the hotel just standing around, being there. It was just like a crowd of people just standing around. So yeah, people, you go to a fight night in Vegas and don't have a ticket to the fight. But there was probably like 4 or 5 after parties that night. Everybody big was in town. For some reason, Biggie wasn't in town that night. Don't know, but probably because of the heat allegedly between Death Row and Bad Boys and all that, and he elected not to go. But Foxy Brown, Von Zip was there, right? There were people out there. There were several, Google it, look it up, at least 10 clubs. Club 662 wasn't the only club. It was a popular one for people that wanted to hang around Dog Pounds and Tupac and Suge and that atmosphere. But most people didn't want to be around them. If you want to keep it real, they wanted to go to the other spots that were inside the hotel and stuff. Nicer clubs, nicer casinos. Y'all, I can't explain to you youngsters how it was in the 90s out there in Vegas, but it was, if y'all a little older, y'all can think of All-Star Weekend, 2000, what was it, 7? When they had the NBA All-Star Weekend out there? Shit. How many of y'all were there in the comment section? How many of y'all actually went to the game? But everybody was there. So, yeah, that's was the atmosphere. That what was going on in Vegas, September the 6th, 1996.
Do you feel like there's any scenario in which they may offer Suge a deal for less time if he were to testify with this whole Tupac case? Do you foresee that ever being a possibility?
Woo! That's a tough question, John. You hit me off left field with that one. Let me just say this. The Suge Knight I know, if he knew a way that he can get on a stand or testify and identify Keefe D and the world don't find out about it, he would do it. But he can't. I don't believe Suge Knight saw the shooter like all of y'all do. Even Keefe D said, he looked right at me and all of that. I don't believe it. I know he didn't know that night, but we just knew it was Southside guys because of what had happened in the hotel prior. That's my opinion. Me and Suge have never had a conversation about that. But I know Suge has diabetes, and I used to be maybe have people 20 feet, 30 feet in front of us, and he couldn't see them. He didn't recognize them. Didn't know who they were. I always have to say, hey, that's so-and-so. Oh, okay. What's up, homie? But, okay. I ain't here to shit on Suge Knight no more. But let me explain something to you guys. I know a lot of y'all think y'all know law and all of that. Suge Knight is in prison in the state of California for a state case. Okay? All right. All right. The incident where Tupac Shakur got killed is under the Nevada state jurisdiction, state of California. None of this stuff is fair. Everybody, the FBI came, or FBI. No, none of this is fair. The only reason that it became a federalized task force that Greg Kading was heading was because they were trying to find out if there was corruption or prove that there was or wasn't corruption involving the LAPD in the murder of Biggie Small. All right? Greg Kading and them were shocked as hell, I believe, when Keefe D started confessing to the murder of Tupac Shakur. They thought he was going to be confessing to the murder of Biggie Small. Okay. Y'all got that? Y'all understand that part? Now, why was Greg Kading a LAPD cop? He was federalized. Him and his 13 to 16 men unit were federalized under the DEA branch of law enforcement, where that's what they do when they do all the RICO acts and drug cases in guys' neighborhoods. That they need it. See, FBI and DEA agents and all of them, they're geeks. What I mean by that, they are book smart and all of that. They didn't know the street players in different cities. So they came up with different type of task force where they had local police officers working with federal agents because, quite frankly, under federal, they have more money to investigate stuff, and they have a longer reach, and they, you know, they can you get more time with those motherfuckers, and you know the federal laws are a little easier to convict, then and they have a little bit more time to work a case. Where in a state case or state cops, you working cases, working cases, working cases. You have a homicide at night, you gotta go. You might be working. You very rarely working on cases all. You very rarely get to work a case all the way through, because you jump in and you move on to another case. Let me get back to the original question because I know I went over. I had to explain that to you guys, but the only way Suge Knight can testify and get out of prison is only one thing can happen. Fucking not Donald Trump, who's the president now? Joe Biden couldn't call and say, hey, I want that Mr. Knight guy out. And let him out and, you know, he can promise somebody something. A governor in the state of California or Nevada. But why would he do that? So my point is, the DA in the state of Nevada will have to go to not the DA in the state of California, but to the governor. The governor is the only one that can let Suge Knight out of prison early, and that would have to be a deal made between probably Nevada governor and California governor, or Nevada DA and the state of California governor. So all of that Suge Knight gonna do this and he gonna get out, and Suge Knight, number one, he would never ever do that publicly, where he would have to go and get on the stand and testify. Only way I think he would do that publicly, if somehow he had to save one of his kids or and give a transplant, and they said the only way you can do this transplant is if you're out of prison and save somebody's life, then he might, you know, be willing to get on the stand and say, because I got to save my kid's life, I need to do that. It has to be something, my point is, something drastic like that for Suge Knight to publicly ever get on the stand to testify in that case. He might go, but he ain't going to say shit. He's going to do just like he did when he was on ABC World News. So I ain't got shit to say. But learn your laws, learn what's happening. The only person that can give Suge Knight any type of immunity, or it's not immunity, it's pardon, that can pardon Suge Knight is whoever the current governor of the state of California. So even if the governor in Nevada wanted to do it, the DA in Nevada wanted to do it, it ain't nothing they can do without the governor of the state of California. Y'all got it? I'm telling y'all something. I know a lot of you attorneys, Google internet attorneys is in the comment section. Oh, you don't know what you're talking about? All right. Okay. Well, whatever. Trust me, Reg be knowing the shit he talking about and shit like that. Know this up and down. Yep.
In your personal opinion, let's say we don't know, or let's say we forget about what we saw or heard in Murder Rap. Do you personally feel like Puffy would be capable of being involved to the extent that he was implemented?
Well, I mean, y'all want to make Puffy a choir boy. And everybody went, oh, Puffy wouldn't do that, Puffy wouldn't do that. Well, gay guys are tough too. I'm gonna be honest, homosexuals are some tough dudes. And they gangsters too in their own way. So there's some gangster guys that are gay. Flaming gay. Shit, fucking, I'll go far enough to say drag queens that you better not fuck with, right? But y'all want to make Puffy a choir boy for some reason. Okay. It's the song that was done by Black Rob. in 1999, 1998. What's the name of that song, John? You know it offhand?
I don't, but I can find it for you.
Okay. Well, this particular song and the reason why I asked John about it, because we didn't, he didn't know I was going to bring this up. But I mentioned it to him recently, was like, Puffy is outright bragging about putting $1 million on people's heads, taking their social security number, and I don't know. Y'all listen to the song on your own. I'll have John pin it in the comment section. But
The song is called Muscle Game, Reggie.
it's called what?
Muscle Game.
Muscle Game by Black Rock. And he's saying all of this like 1998, 1999, bragging about, subliminally, like I always tell you those New York dudes do, subliminally talking shit. Even Black Rob say, yeah, I'll make sure your 4-4 ain't gonna do shit for us. That 4-4 ain't gonna do nothing. You're gonna need more than a 4-4 or something like that in the song. Y'all go listen to that song. Y'all go listen to what Biggie was saying on Long Kiss Goodbye. Y'all go listen to that interview that John posted up where Puffy was talking shit and bragging with Julio G on the West Coast. All of that stuff right there alone. Today, if Puffy did that song with the YouTube police and the sophistication that they have, if they played that song and broke that song down, get an expert, one of you guys that's an expert on song, breaking down stuff, hopefully, my boy Almighty Trey or somebody like that can quote the words and put them in writing in there of all the stuff he was talking about in that particular song. A good DA will take and play that song, and I think that alone in 2023. I'm not saying in 1998, 1999, they wasn't smart enough. Law enforcement wasn't smart enough. But let these young motherfuckers do some shit like that talking in a song right now. They'll be before a federal grand jury. I know this is not a federal case, but they will think of something to get them on. And so without Keefe D's statement of saying that him and Puffy had that meeting and he offered the money and put it out there, no. But Las Vegas PD, get an expert, break that song down. I'm throwing y'all hints. I'm dry snitching like a motherfucker. Go listen to that song. Get that song. Put that song out. Break that song down, along with Keefe D's statement. Y'all might get a conviction or at least an indictment on Puffy Combs. Make him spend some of that $1 billion. That's all y'all really want to do. That's what it's all really about. But hey, as soon as this go down, I show, because me and Tupac's family attorney talk daily. I'll tell y'all, the family attorney talks daily. I'm going to help him break it down. And we're going to go after you, Puff. We're going after some of that money. I'm going to help him. But I'd like to see you in some handcuffs too, right along with Keefe D. But I know that's going to be a long shot. I'm not up here saying that it's going to happen, but it could. You people that like to break down music, y'all post it in the comment section. Y'all listen to that song. I bet you y'all agree with me. I know a lot of you New York haters and Puffy haters and all that, Puffy lovers. It's gonna be, oh, this nigga crazy. He always talking shit. He don't know shit. He's the dumbest motherfucker in the world. For people that really objective, go listen to it. Check it out. Bet you tell me in the comment section, ooh, Red, you might be on to something, dawg. Bet you.
As we know, Big Has always claims to own these Tupac masters. Can you tell the story about why he feels like why he lies and says that he owns all these Tupac masters from when he was at death row?
I thought I killed that nigga all. Well, I guess he out there trying to promote a book, and he knows that he can just come back and say anything on YouTube. I know this video is not gonna get that many views because nobody knows who the fuck Big Cass is. But there's a guy out there that we ran off the internet about 3 or 4 years ago with the help of his brother Big Sean. Sean, shout out Sean. Much respect. I listened to that interview with my boy Big Court. I hope he paid you like he paid everybody else for that interview, Big Court. Big Court. You and your sweet daughter let that man sit up there and tell y'all how he don't believe in God. Y'all let that man sit up there and say, nigga, nigga, nigga at least 100 times. But in the next breath tell y'all that he's mixed with white and Mexican. We all know, his brother Sean told us, the nigga daddy black, he just don't, for some reason, want to identify himself as black. Big Cass is an outright liar, y'all. And this is the type of dude to go and get breast implants and get cheeks implants and all of that stuff. Be on shows, TV shows and stuff like that, getting plastic surgeries. He loved the spotlight. He loved being talked about. He was out there telling y'all a story that he beat up me and Suge and took Tupac Masters. Okay. I showed y'all the incident that he sold word for word. It was a black guy by the name of David Bowdy and another guy who's cool. I talk about Bowdy and I throw his name out because that bitch ass nigga sued me for $165,000. Well, he sued me for more, but he got a judgment for $165,000 because this bitch ass nigga Reg that is a buster and stuff can't fight and scary ex-popo. He's there, beat his ass along with Suge and got him paralyzed from the whole left side of his body. That's what he say. He claimed the jury said, well, y'all did it a little bit too much. Y'all should have did what y'all did, but y'all overdid it. They probably were right. But he want to go and take us credit of a story of some other people that he heard about from the 60 Crips that all this happened to. Got police reports proving that it wasn't him. He's lying. Got the lawsuit, got the article in the LA Times. Big Cass is just a con man that goes and tells stories. I even seen on the internet or heard that he even tried to say he owned Bone Thugs and Harmony, whatever their name is, music and all that. He's just a guy that likes to go around lying and conning, doing stuff. People are a little bit too lazy to deal with things. When y'all know if he would do some work with Tupac, he would have pictures with him and all of that. He don't have any pictures with Tupac or anything like that. He beat me and Suge up and took masters from us and gave them back to Afeni. I thought Daz did it. Everybody beat us up and took masters and music and stuff. Okay. Big Cass is a con man. Talking about his mama was fucking on him when he was... Man, who says that about their dear mother? The things that come out of his mouth is just outright disrespectful to his family and anybody that believes that he has something to say or he's telling the truth. I feel for you, percentage of people. I really do. But we got some old videos up there where we exposed the hell and his brother exposed the hell about Big Cass. I don't want to hate on my boy Big Court because I tell you, there's very few people on this internet shit that I really like. and he's one of them. Even though he was with Master P and them and all of that. Not even though. I mean, I like Master P and them, right? I ain't got no issues with them. Saw Silk the Shocker at my nephew and them basketball game. And he looking good. He out there just trying to support his son with that AAU basketball and stuff. But, man, I thought we were done with this idiot and this clown. But I hear he's trying to promote a book. And I feel bad for the YouTube channels that allow them to come on their channel and he just tell his outright lies. YouTubers, I'm gonna start checking y'all. I'm gonna start commenting and making comments when y'all letting people just come on there throwing out anything. I don't call it, especially if you're talking about something concerning Death Row, Mob Paru, Suge Knight, or Compton. Compton Police Right Way Protective Services, or Reggie Wright, or Bomb First. All right, we got it. Everybody got it. Thank you.
Can you tell me about how, because I know how they portrayed it in the movie, but I would like to know how Dre informed Suge that he was leaving the label in '96.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't no conversation on, hey, I'm leaving, I'm out of here. And the conversation was something like this. Because as I tell y'all, I'll tell y'all, and this is the God, the honest, the truth. Suge Knight did not want Dr. Dre to leave Death Row, even though he became 100% owner of the company from 50%. He did not want that. But what happened was, the real, and y'all done heard this story 100 times probably, where there was a witness in the Snoop Dogg trial that kept saying that Dr. Dre was the shooter. Kept saying that. And we know he was getting Dre and Snoop mixed up with each other, but he kept saying that. But as an attorney, what you do? You exploit, just like y'all do on YouTube. Y'all know something ain't true. Y'all know a nigga misspoke and said a date wrong or something like that, or got something mixed up, and y'all know what he mean, but y'all know he fucked up. And so David Kidder wanted to exploit that. He wanted to exploit the hell out of that in front of the jury to go, hey, what's your name? Andre Young. What they call you? Dr. Dre. Okay, thank you. That's all he wanted to do with Dre. Put him on the stand and ask him no questions. And then just to like cross-examine him to exploit the discredit that witness. Dre was like, I don't want no part of that shit. I ain't dealing with that. Tupac hears about this. Y'all gotta remember, Tupac comes from, y'all know his training. Y'all know how Tupac is. Loyal as a motherfucker, right? And so he was like, wait a minute, this guy, number one, he don't never be around. He ain't doing that many beats. I ain't here to work. I came here mainly to work with him and do all of these beats with him, and I can't get the nigga to come to the studio and do no work for me, send me no beats, mix down my album. I don't know. DJ Quick mixed down All Eyes on Me, not Dr. Dre. And it ain't no beef yet. Dre was just being, maybe he had an exit plan in his mind. I don't know. But he was being lazy, for lack of a better word. As y'all know, y'all see how often he puts out an album. Not that he has to anymore, but even when he was in the music business, he was very, very particular and slow. Particular and slow with his music. So, but now he's like showing disloyalty to Snoop. So Snoop Tupac was like pushing that and kept saying that and all of that. So Dre is like, man, you know what? Especially after that Christmas party incident, where they had to pay out that $600,000 and they almost got their probation violation and all that, because all three of those niggas was on probation. Pac was out on appeal bond. Dre was on probation and Suge was on probation. Those niggas were sweating bullets after that Mar Anthony Bill incident at the Christmas party. All three of them. So he like, man, you know what? I'm tired of this bullshit. Which, but we know he was still around. But, that shit that builds up. And so, because you say, how was he still around? Well, we know he did the California Love. He was the director of the remix California Love, the one at the pool scene. And that one was done in like January or February, okay? We know Tupac album came out February the 13th, okay? We know that Tupac went in and performed at, what was the name of that, Saturday Night Live? February the 17th. No mention of Dre there or anything, right? And then we know Snoop got acquitted. I think the 19th or the 20th or something like that of February. That's when the big meeting with Sam Snead happens. So I'm saying all that to say that happened sometime before that in February when All Eyes on Me, when Dre was planning on making his exit. Because by that time, Jimmy Iovine called Suge and said, hey, Dre's leaving. He want to leave Death Row. I'm help him get something started with Aftermath and, another label, which eventually became Aftermath. Suge said he could leave. But he leaving with nothing. He ain't getting 1 cent and will never get another penny from Death Row. And Dre was like, okay. Now, there's other things. I know I done put out accusations or opinions that Dre left. The final straw on the camel's back was when he found out Michelet and Suge was messing around and allegedly pregnant or something like that. Yeah, or mainly that he was fucking her. I'll just say that. So he's hearing all of this stuff, and Dre was just tired. But how the conversation really went was from Jimmy Iovine to Suge, and Jimmy assuring both he still had their backs. Dre, you'll be fine. Let him have the company, and I got you, which he still got him to this day.
So Dre never told Suge, I'm leaving. He did it through third parties?
Third party between Howard King, who is Dre's attorney, who works for Peter Paterno, or Peter Lopez, forget his name, Peter, I think, whatever, was Howard King's partner, which is Jimmy Iovine's best friend. Tell you, this shit is small, boy. But Dre's attorney, the head attorney, Howard King did all the work, but there's an attorney named Peter, Me Against the World, you know all of this. That was Jimmy Iovine's best friend. And it all was done between them. Paperwork was bad on that separation agreement. My boy Jeff Lowry, who was the head of Disney, all of their music, he was our transitional attorney at the time. He used to be like, boy, y'all boy David Kenner was. But I said, hey, he's a criminal attorney. He don't know how to do paperwork like that. And he was just trying to do entertainment attorney, but his specialty was criminal law. So y'all learn that, people. Deal with people with their specialties in everything. Because they're little dots and T's that need to be crossed. And sometimes they don't happen. But yeah, that's how it went. It was never a conversation where Dre and Suge sat down. Because I'll be honest, Suge is a very, very charismatic, where, yeah, he would have talked Dre and convinced Dre to stay and make shit work out. Because, like I said, he did not want Dre gone. I know that. I know that for a fact, knowing Suge Knight.
Yeah, it's funny because in Straight Outta Compton and in the All Eyes on Me movie, they always have Suge like staring down Dre whenever they come across each other. Like in the scene where they're at Can-Am, Suge is always like, giving like this mean ass stare to Dre. So I guess that's how they perceive the way it was. But yeah.
Well, no, Suge really liked Dre. He really respected Dre, and they had been through a lot. If you really listen to DOC and people like that, they've been through a lot. Um, so no, Suge gets a bad rap because he do play the tough guy role and try the intimidation factor and all of that. But the nigga really a sweetheart, a sugar bear. I always told the nigga, man, you ever have a problem, I'm sticking a bitch on you. Because a female can get anything in the world from him. I don't think he know how to get mean and go crazy to a female. He'll slap the shit out of one. But as far as just being an asshole, that's not him. It's not him. If, you being cool with him. Yeah.
I wanted to see if you could clarify. There's a guy named Bounty Hunter Big Stretch, and he's talking about the story that BJ spoken about with the bathroom and the Watts, at the video shoot and all that stuff. Did you see his interview?
Yeah, I saw him. I saw the interview he did over there with that guy Al Prophet or whatever, where he just like to talk. Think he knows everything. I don't know where he's from. I just let people read on the internet, and because they can speak and talk and put their opinions on stuff. I just love how y'all do that. But yeah, Big Stretch was around. That was Lil Stretch, big brother from the Bunny Hunters. He was around in and out. There's some pictures of him online at a couple of events and stuff. But pretty much 94, 95, he went to prison, as I remember. I think he shot a little girl in a drive-by accidentally, and trying to do a drive-by. But his brother was a little Stretch from the Young Soldiers with my boy Big Y. And I think he was originally in that group, as I remember. And but then it later just became Big Y and Little Stretch. But I wish I would have had the story before he kind of tried to correct it. Because obviously, that I'll tell you that Pyru sympathizer or blood sympathizer, it's like we have cripple, where he came out and said, "Nigga, you wasn't even there." At the incident I always talk about at the bathroom. But he corrected it and said maybe it was another incident or a second incident and all of that. So I'm not going to go into that. BJ been quiet. He hasn't been speaking on me. So I'm not going to speak on him until he speaks back on me. So no disrespect to that story. I let it stand. I told my side of what I heard. They told their side of what they heard. Big Stretch had originally told the way I said it, but now he's saying maybe it was two different incidents and he wasn't present at the one that BJ's talking about. Okay, we have to respect that because neither one of us was there. Oh, but I love how they go and say all these dudes, Heron and Buntry and Green Eyes was a general in the, what they were speaking on was that paperwork stuff called UBN and United Bloodline and all of that, BGLs, all of that prison stuff. And so Green Eyes was a general in his from the prison stuff. Have never heard nothing bad about Green Eye or Rat. I tell y'all that all the time. But he tells a story like how Suge was running from him and all of that and ran to the homies. And man, I tell y'all, these stories I'll never be hearing or seeing. But I believe Suge probably walked back in the office once he saw him and all of that. But then he gonna go in the office with all these 10 Bloods and Heron and all of them. And then gonna get right in Suge's face and make Suge go downstairs. I'm just be trying to tell y'all, man, people be fabricating shit or putting extras on stuff. Because if Suge Knight didn't want to go downstairs and talk to whoever, if he went down there, I wasn't there, so I can't say, but I know how it goes. If he didn't want to go downstairs, he wouldn't have went downstairs with the niggas that he had. Because why? Why? Not saying UBNs, United Blood Nation, or none of them, or if you're in Blood, what's the other gang, the other prison gang? But they wasn't. None of those niggas was. George, James, Buntry, and them, they don't have to fall up under that paperwork and no orders. They part rules. So they don't go by that paperwork stuff. Only people that's in that organization go by that. And they fight each other all the time, so they're not scared of each other. Suge, I think Big CJ, and who wasn't around there. No Heron, was it? I can't think, I ain't gonna put it out there, but ain't too many of them were under paperwork that was around Death Row. So, yeah, Green Eyes was tough. Green Eyes and them had paperwork, and they were generals in there, but they only can call shots with people that's under their paperwork. So, if Suge would have told that nigga fuck y'all woo-woo or whatever, and didn't want to go willingly, he wouldn't have had to go, because those dudes wasn't under that paperwork. I know a lot of y'all go and listen, and people going, they gonna come back at me and tap at me and all of that. I don't care. I'm not scared of no motherfucking body. Keep telling y'all that. I just speak the real and tell the truth. Niggas is not gonna sit up here and tell these stories. And any real par rules, any real BL bloodlines or UBNs will tell y'all. That's how it goes. Any Crips, tell y'all that's how it goes. Oh, nigga, use the police. How would you know? Police studies that just like a professor studies history and stuff like that. We know that. We talk to them. We deal with them. And have plenty of conversations with people. So I know this stuff. I probably talk to more gang members daily from Crips, Bloods, Part Rules than anybody other than probably Melly Mel. Guarantee y'all that. All right. But, yeah. So, y'all don't be believing these stories, because I'm tired of all these stories coming out, making Suge the Buster and all of that. Not saying he was the big bad wolf. I understand why they do it. I understand why a lot of people hate on it and all that, because we not like the mafia or they not like the mafia or anything like that. There are no leaders and all of that. Ain't no tough guy. Ain't nobody the toughest guy. But y'all gonna keep it real. Y'all gonna keep it real. We went everywhere in LA. Everywhere. I was with that nigga every day down there from end of 1994, 95, 96, till he went to prison. And then from when he walked out of the jail, I picked him up. I'm the only one in that limousine talking to him, giving him jewelry and all of that stuff. Taking him to the airport where he met up with everybody else. So that would have been, what, August 2nd, August the 3rd of 2001, until I left the nigga in 2002. Got back around him 2006, 2007. Stopped fucking with that nigga again in 2008, 2009. And then go off and on with the nigga over the phone. Shit, up until I got caught up in 2017, 2018. Talked to him once or twice during that period. Don't talk to him right now, but can if I wanted to. Just don't really see no benefit, because he out there hustling. And I'm not trying to hustle people out right now. I ain't broke right now. Thank God for y'all on YouTube and John. Let me go broke. Then I might be back up there hooking with him knocking on people's doors with him, for him, with his people. Because niggas still got rioters out here. Y'all better believe that. Yep.
Okay. I wanted to read you this article from the LA Times from December 96 and just get your explanation or like your clarity on it. It says sources said that the government is attempting to build a racketeering case against Death Row Records and is investigating alleged links to street gangs, drug trafficking, money laundering, violent acts, extortion, and gun running. The conclusion of the probe, which sources say is expected to result in criminal indictments, is months away. Justice Department officials have routinely declined to either confirm or deny the existence of the probe. Law enforcement sources said, however, that phones had been tapped and agents from the FBI, IRS, Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, and drug enforcement agencies, as well as police in Los Angeles and Las Vegas, continue to investigate a variety of leads. What was really highlighted in this article was the whole situation with Steve Cantrop signing an agreement that he owes Suge Knight and Death Row $4.5 million, which he claims he did under fear for his life, that he was on his knees and that he feared he was going to be killed unless he signed this agreement. So just looking over this article, hearing that, what is that? Do you remember December 96? Do you remember hearing all this stuff about this investigation and all this kind of rumors?
Yeah, well, Suge was in jail December of 96. And so that was the article actually a little late because we had kind of heard about it before then. We had knew about all of this that was going on. But the plot was big then. It was trying to put, Tupac had been killed. Interscope was trying to get out of their deal with Suge because they were guaranteed to get a nigga $20 million a year if he put a record out or didn't. And they were obligated to put out albums and give good amount of advances. And they didn't want to do it anymore. You had the incident with the Longo where they found out Suge was renting a house from the DA that was supervising his probation. Had his daughter signed to a contract, Gina Longo. And so we knew about all of that stuff. It got heightened after unfortunately, the death of Tupac. But contract is funny that, said alleged and all of that. If y'all look up what Gelfand ended up selling with Suge Knight, David Kenner, and Dr. Dre for, it was a little bit more than $4.5 million on a settlement, And so it did turn out that, they owed them money. And that it was a lot of money that was embezzled by them. So, yeah, we heard about it. We knew they was getting investigated and all of that. But guess what all was found from it? Yes, y'all. They did that from 96 and 2002. After all of that manpower and waste and all of that, guess what they found us guilty of? A misdemeanor failing to file taxes because our accounting firm didn't file the taxes in a timely manner. That's it. That's all that was found. Now, people always say, yeah, well, that's why y'all were broke and doing all that. No, we actually our profit margin was better because we didn't have all the artists to be taken care of and stuff. Oh, Reggie, the death row went down under your watch and all that. I don't know what y'all talking about. Actually, we was in the green, have no more lawsuits. Everything was taken care of. And everything was free and clear, owning the building and everything. Suge Knight came home with money in the bank and no more lawsuits. And like I said, the federal probe was signed. He came home in August. I think we had his father go down there and take the deal. October, maybe September. An infraction for misdemeanor. No fine or anything. So we heard about it, knew about it. They investigated, didn't find anything. You know, they investigated hard. That's what Keefe D goes down there talking about. They came down there trying to talk to him and getting him to do it. Shit. They contacted me. The agent on there, Dan McMullen, talk about him all the time. He was, you know, they were on us, following us around, checking our bank accounts, checking everything. But nothing happened. Nothing happened. But you a snitch, Reg. Well, if I was a snitch and a informant and all of that, y'all tell me, who's in jail behind Reggie? I must have been the worst motherfucking snitch or informant in the history of America. Because can't nobody say they went to jail behind Reggie Wright. Anybody associate the death row. Who's in jail? Who went to jail behind Reggie Wright? So I just tell you, you trolls, man, in the comment section, boy. I love y'all. Love y'all. Because you know why? Your trolls and your haters, they're your biggest supporters. Y'all view and comment and talk shit in the comment section more than people that hit me up on Facebook Messenger and IG telling me how much they love me. I'll be like, you didn't see the video I did today? Oh no, Reg, I ain't saw it yet. But you trolls, you haters. 9:30, 10 o'clock, we already arguing in the comment section on the video. So I love y'all. Because the person that likes us or don't like us, guess what? Still count as a view. Y'all remember that when y'all hating. If y'all don't like Reggie Wright and John and what we doing and how we just keep rehashing old stories and all of that, I told y'all there's other channels for current events. I could easily talk about, man, I know this shit better than y'all. Could have easily came on here talking about, yeah, wasn't that guy great at that situation in Alabama? All right, black people, let's go. Forget the white people and all of that. I could have easily came on doing that. But we don't do that over here. That ain't our lane. I could have told y'all why that dude took that cap and threw it off. What that mean? Y'all don't know what that mean. Reggie Wright and a lot of people know what that mean. But you white folks don't know what that mean. Y'all ain't never heard that when a man throw his cap off in the air like that. What that mean? That means something. But that ain't what we're here for. Reg is very well read. Tell you about the governor in Florida and the bullshit he's talking. Tell you about all this stuff. I watch sports, CNN, and YouTube all day. But that ain't what we're here for. That ain't what John built his channel for. John built his channel mainly, we have diverted from it a little bit, but mainly about trying to educate y'all about the music and put out unseen. Y'all go to John Instagram, telling y'all want to hear unheard death row music and stuff like that? Go to bombfirst.com Instagram and watch them. Man, I'm telling y'all, I be hearing shit on there that I didn't even know was out there and heard. Be wondering like, where? Okay, John, yeah, okay, good, fine. Better put that up. But yeah, I know I'm rambling and ranting. I'm just trying to tell y'all, this is what we're here for. This is what we do. This is what we do. Facebook, support us on that. But I'm telling y'all will be real impressed with the things that John putting over there on Instagram lately. Real impressed. Yep.
I will say that when they asked Suge to comment on this story about the Steve Cantrop thing, Suge was quoted as saying from jail, after I caught him stealing millions of dollars and confronted him, he started crying.
He did. I was there.
Yeah. And he said, please just give me time to pay you all your money back. And that Suge told him, okay, Steve, don't get so bent out of shape. It's fine. Just sign the agreement and we'll move on.
Did he tell you he took his Rolex though? And the keys to his Jeep? He didn't tell y'all that part, huh? But yeah. But it was Death Rose. He said, "Hey, Barney," and that's so yeah. Steve Cantrock was faulty. He was wrong. He was doing like everybody else, I guess, was living hog off the horse. Think the nigga wouldn't have counted his money and would have never known because there was so much money coming through. I don't know. But hey,
How did he catch the brunt of it and not Kenner?
oh,
'Cause
David
didn't
got.
he work for Kenner?
Let me just say, he didn't work for Kenner. He worked for a Gelfand accounting firm. Kenner was just the contact person. He was the one that made things happen, but he wasn't looking over the books either. And that wasn't. And that was the whole point. That wasn't his job. You know, I mean, Kenner's job was to submit the invoice and say, "Hey, I approve this to get paid" or whatever. Oprah Winfrey told y'all. She told people a long time ago. Anything over $5,000. Shit, I'll sign that check. We got to learn that. Kenner was able to approve, uh, approve things. I'm not saying Kenner was, doing anything wrong. He probably was just paying some bills and taking care of things. Yeah, he was. But, that wasn't that wasn't Kenner's job. That was Cantrock's job. And that's why he hired a law account firm like Price Waters, who was the owner of Gelfand, to take care of that. I think their fee was like 3% of everything that came in there, which was a big fee, big money. And their job was to look over. But like I said earlier in this episode, they end up paying the money that was allegedly taken or misappropriated, and they paid it back. Look up that settlement. It was settled. They paid off everything. Paid Dre. Dre sued them for being other partner. He got like $2.5 million from them. So yeah.
What about this part where it says, and I read this back when this was actually happening in '96. So I always wondered about this, and I don't think we talked about it. I know on a previous segment you kind of said something about Club 662 being like, it used to be like some mafia guys club, and then the license was in one of the girls of theirs name. But this article states that the rap label had been under investigation for months by the federal government, which is trying to determine whether Death Row is being run as a criminal enterprise. One reason federal authorities are pushing so hard, sources said, is that authorities suspect that the rap label is tied somehow to organized crime in New York and Chicago. Where do you think they would pull the whole connected to the mob, organized crime thing? Any idea about that?
Yeah, there was some people in New York that owned the club, and I think David Kenner has some connections with the people that own the club. I remember going to the strip club in New York and meeting with the people. Some big popular strip club in New York we went to that was owned by those people. And so they probably thought that there were some connections and all of that. But okay, so I guess y'all don't believe the Harry scenario, right? How many people can't even keep getting money from and hitting home runs? I asked David Kenner one time before, I said, "Hey man, I got anything to worry about when I first came around in 1994? I said, because I'm always carrying Suge briefcase. And I don't know what the fuck is in there. We be going to airports and all of that." David Kenner looked at me seriously. He said, "Reggie," he said, "Suge can go right now and call Time Warner or whoever and get a check cut for $1 million. He said, so to be selling drugs or trafficking drugs from LA to New York or all of that, what would that make sense? Why would that make any sense? When you can go and get this money from record labels and companies like that." He said, "It just don't make no sense." So who knows what happened 91, 90 to make shit happen? I wasn't there, I don't know. But 93, okay, fuck that. When Dre came out, what, 92, 93, 94? No more need for that nonsense. No more need for it. Because he was hitting home runs then. And so I don't know where that comes in. I mean, which one you gonna believe? The Harrio scenario or now some organized crime? But like I said, if it was true, it must wasn't able to be found or proven because they were up our ass from 1996 all the way until 2002 when we settled the case. Yeah. So it was obviously it was unfounded.
I noticed that Gloria Velez has a podcast that's being aired on Vlad's channel. And it made me think about something. I know, like, during the pandemic, kind of everybody was trying to figure out things to do from home. But I just wanted to get your take on pretty much everybody nowadays having a podcast, and if you feel like it's beneficial because fans can see more about, you know, people they're into, or if you think it's harder to deal with because there's so many stories out there at the same time.
Yeah. Man, it's good and bad. It's all about your taste and what you believe, I guess. Vlad got a interview going over there with 1 million views right now from a guy that's talking about flying UFOs and sightings and stuff like that. I would never listen to it. I mean, I couldn't even click and listen to it and all of that because I don't believe in UFOs and aliens and all of that. My point is, so I said it's a little bit of something for everybody. Everybody be like, oh, motherfucker, we listening up here listening to a cop that think he's a gangster and no one, cops gangsters and all that, but I don't think I'm no gangster or anything. But I ain't no bitch either. But my point is, so there's something for everybody. I don't like certain YouTubers and stuff like that. Y'all gotta remember, Gloria, whatever her name is, this is the bitch that's up there talking about she got sacrificed or was going to get sacrificed, and Tupac saved her from getting sacrificed at a Death Row Mother's Day event. At a Death Row Mother's Day, where my mama at, Suge's mama at, and a whole bunch of people, mama from the city of Compton and inner city areas. And Jimmy Iovine's wife. And people like that. I mean, important people, rich people, poor people, good people, middle class people, every category of people at this event. But she wanted to use Tupac's name so bad, which, you know, it's kind of hard for me to hate on her because she was saying Pac saved her. You know, but from a sacrifice at a death row event where a bunch of guys are going to run a train on her, and so she know how popular and how big Tupac's name is and how he was going to set up and save her. And so she wanted to get fame and get some notoriety because she know y'all mention that, y'all going to go and listen. Right? That's some crazy shit, y'all. We got a YouTuber out there, and Vlad too was listening and talking to this dude. Were they over there talking about having sex with people's wives and stuff? And it's okay. And I don't even care that he nutted in my wife. And what do you call it? Cream puffed her or cream? I don't even know that term. Well, he nutted it. We call it nut. Came all in her. And he's up there laughing about it and pretty much making a mockery of it. And these are YouTubers that we all listen to. We got TV shows on TV where I can only think of one show, and I think they slipped one in on me right now that I watch. Not reality shows, because there's some of them. I'm talking about regular TV shows that I can't find. I think of where a gay person not in the show or a character in the show. The one that I said that might have slipped in on me was BMF. I used to always say BMF didn't have one in. But I think the limo driver was supposed to have been a female dyke. I don't know. Maybe y'all can tell me. She got killed, so they have to write somebody else in. But my point to all of this is, man, I think it's good to have these different platforms and you know what D Nice did I think was great. I think Zooms on jobs and stuff like that from the pandemic was great and all of that. But we got to really watch what's getting put in our heads and how people putting things out there to make it seem as okay and normal. Let me tell y'all, it's not cool for your wife to be having sex with other men. I ain't talking about a girl you was with prior to that. You know, ain't none of us. If you didn't get them out of high school, generally they done been with another man, right? But when you up there bragging and talking and putting out there to the world and talking about it's normal and it's okay that your wife having sex with other men and then coming home kissing you, oh, she went and did that. Even if that's their job, you don't watch it. You don't go and watch it and have your friends watching it. And I feel for our young kids, and I feel for you, a lot of you guys that's on here that's watching this, to what people are pushing and putting out there. That's the only problem I have with the different platforms and too much other platforms and stuff, and because a lot of people can just stand up and talk to something, then we get hypnotized to it and thinking it's okay. How many of y'all really got up this Sunday and went to church? I didn't. I was online and watched it. So I'm not saying, but the values, even if you're a Scientologist or whatever, what, you know, get something to keep you grounded. Have something in your life to keep you grounded, where anybody can just put and say anything and it becomes factual to you. That's all I ask. And that's all I ask you to be mindful of. I try, you know, I know I say a lot of stuff for shock value and say stuff that I shouldn't, but also show things in like speeches and stuff that people give that I say, go look and try to be. Always tell y'all on the holidays, go and make contact and give your mother or your father a chance. Try to reach out. Do the right thing with your kids. Try to be a good man to your wife or your husband. Try to do that right, or say positive things to people. So I try to slide that in and talk about it and throw it in. I don't sit up here really and try to push Bible or politics on you because I know that's a big turnoff. But just kind of watch what y'all watching. But Gloria, y'all remember what she said, y'all? Y'all remember that? But then we supposed to forget that and then listen to everything else that she said. All right? We supposed to go and idolize a YouTube channel where a guy talking, bragging openly in most of his conversations about swinging parties. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. Definitely don't want my son listening to shit like that. And he's 22. Y'all think about it. I ain't gonna preach. I know a lot of stuff I say, y'all be like, oh man, you just as stupid. You might be right on some things. But I'm not gonna tell you nothing that, in my opinion, that's gonna get you put in hell. Yeah.